Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for August the 2nd through the 8th, 2021. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone and to invite you to join our community if you haven't already by subscribing. Um, and if you enjoy the video at the end, please also like the video. And that helps to just generate the algorithm's attention. So, just to make you aware, I'm still continuing my half-hour reading, the special offer for extending it to one full hour. This is my $77 half-hour reading, and when you go to my website, theangelschool.com/services page, you will select the half-hour reading as is, and then within 24 hours on the first business day, I will send you a confirmation email which will note the special offer and that the reading is for one full hour for the month of August. And this is available to everyone. There are no restrictions or limitations. So feel free to sign up for a reading, or if you would like. This week I'll be working on the monthly angel scopes, the angel readings for the 12 zodiac signs. So that should be something that you'll keep an eye out for this week to be coming out. And so let's take a deep breath now together. And just really focus on your heart space. And just allow yourself to relax into this profound care of love that the universe is helping you to access at this time. And also be aware of your body and how it relaxes as you focus your attention in your heart space. And you might feel the warmth of your heart chakra and this higher love relaxing the muscles in your body. You might feel a warmth enveloping you. And just breathe. And with the intention of allowing this to expand all the way down into your feet, below the feet, and all the way high above you. And just feel it expanding wide around you in all directions. And just know that you're now surrounded by your angels and surrounded by the many universal beings of light and oneness that are here to support you. They write that you have your own staff of universal consciousness and wisdom to assist you. And it's important that you spend time, as we're writing the word love over and over again before I was beginning. It's important that you spend time every day connecting in with your heart space as this helps you to become aware of the love that surrounds you, the staff, your own personal staff. And to be able to relax. And Archangel Michael is coming through, and he's reminding you that every word and idea that you utter or receive is an influence of the inspiration that love helps you and guides you. So that love is guiding, love is supporting you, and love is also guiding you. And it's going to be really important for us to tune into our hearts on a daily basis, just to be present with this particular frequency. Every chakra within your energy centers resonate at a different frequency and is offering a different vibration of light and sound. And each one in their own way is a teacher. This is the word they're writing in front of me. And they're saying for some of you, you may need to even massage your heart chakra area. Just to, if you sort of circular pattern, very gentle. You might just feel the sort of a heat or warmth, the fire of this light that doesn't burn or consume. But it's just an energy source. And just know that you're safe. And at this time, that it's safe for you to pursue even things that might seem like a risk or a huge challenge to you. You might be stepping into an area outside of your comfort zone at this time, but know that it's safe for you to do this, and know that beyond the initial fears or anxiety or stress that it might cause you, there is true happiness, they're writing. True happiness beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. There's, in essence, more happiness beyond those lines that we draw for ourselves, or those lines that we're convinced that we can't cross, that we're not capable of or deserving of. And so they really want to help you to align with what you are becoming. And they wrote the word stagnant before I was meditating. And I get a sense, and this it's kind of come up in some of the readings I've already started for the next week, the daily card messages that I write on my channel, which you might be able to find on my YouTube post or on my Facebook page. But there is this sense of, we're in the month of August, and we're in this sign of Leo. And so this is a sign of vision and creativity. And so this allows us to experience a lot of expansion, and it really sort of puts us in the spotlight, right? So one of the things that for some of you, you might be feeling stagnant, and you might be feeling it more intensely than usual. And that is because on the earth right now, we're all feeling sort of a sense of responsibility and duty to serve on a deeper level, that our commitments are within our hearts are growing stronger towards our spiritual missions. And as we've been talking about the core self, the soul, this pure essence of the soul, with all of your unique gifts and talents truly rising to the surface. And as it does so, it brings such clarity that it also brings sort of a sense of confrontation to the ego and to all those areas where there has been stagnant energy. Because what's underneath that they're writing is excellence. And so it is time to uncover this excellence underneath the stagnation. And this stagnation comes with procrastination. And it's truly an influence of us not making choices when we have the opportunity to do so. We get sort of in a mindset where we're so focused on the future and, stockpiling wealth and, and hoarding things or reserving things rather until the future, that it stops us from living in the present. It stops us from making choices that would allow us to have the joy that we deserve right now. So we got to make up our mind. Are we living for our futures, or are we living for today? Because what that does for some is that it causes you to get used to putting things off. It gets you in the habit of delaying, and it gets you in the habit of thinking, I'll be happy when this unfolds. So therefore, things are manifesting right now, but the things that we're looking for are to manifest later. And so we are basically screwing around with and manipulating our technology in a way that works against us. And what I mean by our technology, I mean our soul technology. Because our soul technology is living in the moment and is always aware and is perceptive of the opportunities to have happiness and joy and pleasure right now. But we are always thinking, because we're thinking about survival, and this is one of those ways that, for those of us who think, oh, I have a lot of money, I don't think this way. But yes, you do. And everyone is in survival mode. And they're always thinking about the future. Because if you have a lot, you're trying to think about how to maintain it. Instead of, and that's because you believe that the outer influence, the outer reality is influencing your inner reality, when it's not the case at all. It's your inner reality that's influencing and sustaining what you're seeing, and it will be what will invest automatically in what you call the future. So if you focus on thriving, you have to be immediately looking to create the joy and abundance and to reap the blessings that are available to you right now. So you can't thrive if you're trying to survive, if you're worried about the future. And this creates sort of our creative blocks anything that has to do with stagnation is because we're disconnecting from what is flowing for us right now. We're not going with the flow, but we're trying to create another one outside of the present moment. and always trying to create the one that is to come. And for some of you, you might be going, yeah, why have I been doing that? Why do I do that all the time? But think about it. So some people don't do things right now because they're trying to save up for something later. Every time somebody presents something to do right now, they're thinking about something that they have to save for later. And that paradigm, the paradigm you're working with is the one where you believe that everything is coming from the outside. Everything is being influenced by the outer reality. And so the outer reality is full of limitations and restrictions. If you place everything into the outer reality, then yes, what your concept of surviving is most accurate. And I couldn't pry it away from you because you've given your power over to that reality. But if you start living from the reality within, the soul is infinite. It is a channel of love that is constantly giving. And sometimes we're afraid of this. When we access it, then we don't know what to do with infinite possibilities. We are overwhelmed by infinite possibilities and opportunities. And so the idea of success is really foreign. Because you can't experience success unless you're really willing to be in the present moment and recognize all of the things that you have accomplished, small or great. And the inner reality isn't judging any of these things, so it's not quantifying them in this way. It's qualifying them by the level of joy and happiness and pleasure and love that you experience. And so, from your inner reality's perspective, you're thriving. You're always thriving because there's always something that is going on within you to contribute, to influence what's happening outside of you. You are bringing your gifts, your skills and your talents, your perception, your faith, and imposing it on a neutral reality. And that reality is responding to you with infinite activity. But when we're in survival mode, there seems to be limits. And it seems almost difficult to think our way out of a paper bag. So when things appear to be stagnating, this is a sign, this is sort of a safe, I don't know what the word would be in technology, but it's sort of like a safe, you might know what I'm trying to say. It's almost like a back door or a way to get, it's an alert that you've disconnected, that you've switched reality, that you are in survival mode rather than thriving mode, that you are giving all the power to the outer reality, which cannot be any more than what you make it and how you see it. This is why the inner reality is the true one. You can't put the cart before the horse. When you put all your attention on the outer reality, it's as if you're asking the cart to pull the horse. And that is why it just, no matter how challenging it is, because the challenges will be on either side of this, because the challenges and what we call the good times, this dual perspective is what allows us to make choices and allows us to grow and evolve and to experience better versions of our potential. But when you come from the inner reality and you tap into that and you're constantly doing things that allow you to do that. So there's, making time for those hobbies, making time for relaxation, making sure that life is balanced, make sure that you're getting enough sleep, that you're eating a healthy diet, that you're getting some form of exercise, just to move things around so that things don't become stagnant, so that when things become stagnant, this is a help to you. So to indicate that you need to find balance, that you're overcompensating with one muscle and not using all of them. All right, so let's take a look at the card for this week, the Archangel that we'll be working with this week. And it's Archangel Azrael. And this is a card that says, hello from heaven. So this is usually a message from a card that might indicate a hello from your loved ones. And Archangel Azrael is the angel of death and birth. Okay, so it says your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. And at this time, your loved ones are likely giving you a sign of their presence with you, and especially if you've been feeling their presence around you. It's also that they're letting you know that you're not alone, that you have that staff or that team that's with you. And it's also, this is a time of incredible transition. And for ones who have transitioned and expanded in their connection to everything, is sort of an omnipresent experience, that release of opening up to the unknown. And I forgot the word they were giving us earlier about stepping outside of our comfort zones. Okay. And so in this way, we're going through our, I call that the big death, but I call the transitions that we go through while we're still alive the little death. And so this brings for us the awareness right now that there are going to be a lot of changes that are going to change the course of the direction of our lives. And to not be afraid of what those new paths might be for us, and to not hold back because we are afraid of the unknown. And of course, this requires us to really try to be as grounded as possible. And when you have a lot of unknowns, you can only also really work with the step that's in front of you. And that step right now may not seem ideal, but trust that and know and focus on that you're making the best decision that is right for you now, based on who you know yourself to be at this point, and all of your awareness of what your heart wants at this point. So there's a little bit of a balancing act here, where you're following your heart, and yet there's a lot of unknowns. And then there are the things that you do know, and then there are the things that you want. That these are the circumstances that you're in, and somewhere in the middle of all of this is the right choice for this moment. And that's how you're going to really work with this process of change, of stepping beyond your comfort zone, is to just take all of this, all these factors, and make the choice that is right for you. And this may not accommodate others and everything that they want. But you have to do what's right for you, because that's the only way to change, be able to change, right? Because if you try to keep everybody and everybody happy, and to keep everything stable, that is to say, now we're going back into that survival mode, and now we're focusing, everything is about the outer reality, then we can't really change. And that's what that focus, when you're trying to put all your power into the outer reality, it makes it very difficult for you to be flexible in any way, shape, or form. So it's very important. And just know that, just like you may be afraid of the changes that that are, how do you say it, that you're on the cusp of making in your life right now. And it can just seem extremely scary. But just like death was for most of us, that's the thing that haunts us the most, right? We're afraid of it. We don't know what it really will be like to go through that. And we've seen people transition in so many different ways. And so we're scared in general. And we spend a lot of our time trying to fight off. And maybe that's why we end up focusing in the future. Because what we're really trying to do is fight off death. We're trying to build a barricade or a stronghold that maybe, if we stock all of our joy and our happiness in the future, then we'll be too happy to die, have too much to live for. Just a thought. Makes a little sense. But the thing here is that your loved one's transition can always help you, the energy, because it's the same, can help you with the transitions that you're having to make, especially if they've recently passed. And they may be here giving you permission to live, to continue to live. They don't want you surviving. And if you can't live, if you're struggling with their passing, and you're worried about what they would still want you to do or to hold on to, that's surviving. You're trying to survive without them, and you're using these things to cause you to stagnate so that you don't have to live without them. Their memories, their influence is within your heart. Their wisdom and their light, their guidance, and their presence in this grander state is still with you. So don't be afraid to move on. And if you're stagnating because of the loss of one of them, they want you to have the blessings that they now are experiencing from their own transitioning. And they want you to transition in your own life to the next level of your potential, because that's why you're here. Okay. So many things there that I wasn't expecting, but it is a blessing, isn't it? All right, so let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And isn't that just kind of eerie, right? Because the Eight of Cups is about that moving on and feeling that call. But what I love about this deck, she does these little quirky things that you wouldn't think of, and it all looks like it's comedy and playful, the playful hearts, but there's some serious things going on here. And look in the background, these two birds, fighting over some lemon peels. And we do that. We here he's illumined with this staff of light, and he knows it's time to move on. But sometimes we find things to get in our way. We find things to fight over, or we find things to that to struggle with, as an excuse. We focus on the negatives. We get caught up. We get distracted. We allow ourselves to get distracted. And that keeps us stuck where we are. See, when they're over there fighting over those peels, they can't move from that place until somebody lets go. And if you're in a situation that you can't get out of, it's because this is one way you give power to the outer reality without even knowing it, by getting stuck in drama, whether it's your own drama or somebody else's drama. And here is something that's saying it's time to love, let love prevail and move on. And love doesn't think in terms of winning and losing. Love is always thinking about what's best for you, the opportunity that is there, is present, that's higher than that situation. So if you're having a hard time making a choice about who you truly want to be and where you truly want to be at this time in your life, and let go of some of those things that are just getting in your way, taking you out of the flow of life, and follow that light. Now, he's holding that sort of a lantern or some kind of staff of the lantern that's outside of him, but you notice he's illumined from within. It may even be that that most of that light is coming from within. And yes, we do learn from the outer reality. There's enlightenment, but the majority of that light is in the influence of this situation, this moment, is coming from within. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Okay, let's let go of our perfectionist tendencies here. I want everything to be. And we have the Seven of Swords, right? So this is a card about deception and manipulation, suspicion. And the thing is that we tend to do this to ourselves. Once you get in a place where you don't trust what you know, and you don't trust what you want. So when you don't trust what you want, you can't really trust what you know. And then you make yourself susceptible to these stories that sort of create around you when you doubt. Because once you're doubting, it's as if the lens changes and how you see everything and everyone. And if you're really in a situation where you can't trust, then why are you still there? Now, does it matter if the person has done something that's caused you not to trust them? That does not matter. What matters is that this situation has caused you not to be able to trust your own self. It's caused you, by being in it and remaining in it for whatever reasons you think, the ego, the outer reality is making a case for you to be there. The case that your soul only sees is the practice of your soul, your spiritual practice. And so when you're in a situation when you can't trust, or you've allowed the outer reality to cause you to no longer have faith or to be able to trust, this is a problem for the soul's perspective. That's all it cares about, is that you remain in a vibration or frequency of faith and trust, because this is how your soul technology or spiritual technology works in terms of sustaining the success, in terms of it's how you stay tuned in to this mode of thriving, which is the universe and its infinite possibilities. This is how your joy keeps vibrating and reverberating and magnetizing towards you with ease the things that you deserve. So for your higher self, this is its only concern, that you not get into a different or opposing or contradicting spiritual practice. So don't worry about the stuff, right? Focus on maintaining your light, okay? And this group of up here in the clouds here, it's almost like they're the gossip, the whispers. Don't worry about what other people are their opinions are about what you're doing. Because when you do that, you allow them to turn you into someone who doesn't focus on what's important to them, and who no longer is focused on being true to themselves, because they're trying to achieve the validation of others' good opinions. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. And we have the Three of Cups. So it's very interesting. So, because just looking at it from here to here, we see there's definitely some kind of relationship dynamics that are going on here, different ones. So here we have the Three of Cups. We have, three friends, a tribe. They're soulmates. They get along. They support, and in this relationship dynamic, this group dynamic, you have fun. You are your best self. Your heart thrives. You feel supported and encouraged. And life is just golden in this setting here. And so it looks like you might be moving through an internal and some personal transitions in terms of how you are perceiving. It's about the choices that you're making. So choice is so important because it's your free will, and how you use your choice, how you make choices, is also a very core aspect of your spiritual practice. It is the practice, the choices that you make. And it looks like you may be really working through letting go of stuff, that's letting go of drama, and letting go of trying to please others, and really just being yourself, and being around the people who allow you to be yourself, and they're unconditional in their love. Now, remember, that's the first word that they kept writing. So it's really important for you this week to put yourself in unconditional loving settings, relationships, and roles. So make sure that if you're really feeling like you need to take a break from something, or you need to let that go, or you need to let these people go, or you need to move on from this situation, this job, or whatever it is, know that it's about making sure that you honor your spiritual practice. That is to say, that you honor the guidance of your soul, that you allow yourself to be in authentic settings, so that the core self who's emerging will find harmony with the reality that you're choosing. But it's also challenging you, because it is being what it is, and it is causing you to see what you're doing as a result. By just being, without judging you, it's just stepping forth and being fully what it is. And that is causing you to see what you're doing that is contrary to that. All right, so let's take a look at the card I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck, and it's the Queen of Cups. So this is telling me that you're holding on to you're holding on to some relationship, and if I really feel like this relationship is holding you back, and you know it. It's hard to let go of those relationships because, again, we're comfortable with them, and we're afraid. Sometimes some of us, we're afraid, we feel it's not easy for us to make other good friends, and so we accept sometimes the drama and the abuse that we're getting, or the lack of support. We accept this as normal, or we accept it as the best that we can get or do, or this is as good as it's going to get. And that is not true. That the only reason that you feel stuck in this one is because you haven't stepped away from it and detached from it and allowed the goodness of your soul to highlight all of the other potential compassionate and loving beings that are around you already, that you don't have time to recognize people through the lens of your higher self because you're so busy stuck in your ego, who is creating these unhealthy connections out of a struggling or a past of pain. And so you're just choosing the misery that you know, instead of being, and your ego has you convinced that what you don't know could be miserable, so why move, or why let it go, or that you somehow, the Queen of Cups, she really opens up her heart so much that she just almost takes on everybody else's responsibilities, or she feels obligated, or will think, oh, maybe she could have done something better. Maybe she did something wrong, and she's taking all, in this sort of low vibe energy. So you have to be aware of that, that you might be blending in too heavily to everyone else's lives because, and their stories and their drama, and you're taking it on as your own because of your empathic abilities. And you need to separate, detach from all those feels, and really look at what this is doing to your life. Look at the signs around you. If you're feeling drained every time, pay attention to that. If you see that every time you try to, you have an idea, I just saw the word imaginative. Every time you imagine and this person's always knocking that down, think about that. Because whatever it is that you're imagining, you feel inspired. And that's like a direct line to joy, which attracts abundance. And if that person's always clipping those wings, pay attention to that, because that's not what you deserve, and it's not healthy. Okay? And they wrote the word lose in the sense that you keep losing out because of how much you keep pouring into these situations, or you or the opinion. Well, yeah, you just keep losing out because you're not taking care of yourself. You're caring for everybody else, but not caring enough about the effects and how you are feeling, and that you're not fulfilled and happy and in all the ways that you need to be in order to feel as though you are thriving. All right, so I send you all lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week. God bless you.